Hey everyone, and welcome into Quarantine Convos powered by SCSUtickets.com. I'm Kirsten Kroll, joined by St. Cloud State men's basketball head coach Matt Reimer. Coach, thank you for joining me today. And first and foremost, I wanted to start off by asking you, it's been a couple months since we've last heard from you, and since then restrictions have been lifted and we've started to go back to a sense of normalcy. So how have you been spending this time?
Well, we sold our house, so we unexpectedly sold our house, and so we have moved into an apartment. So we're trying to adjust apartment life here for a little bit until we figure out what our next step is. So that, on the personal side of things, has been an adjustment. In terms of the basketball side of things, we've continued to do a lot of these Zooms. We just signed a couple kids here in the last week from Australia, and so we're slowly but surely here putting final touches on our roster as we get ready to hopefully get going here in August.
Yeah, I mean, that alone makes it sound like you've been pretty busy in the past couple of months. And in the last Zoom meeting that you had, you mentioned that you were still looking for 2 to 3 more recruits. Just talking about that experience, you said that you used Zoom meetings a lot for it and you used virtual tours. What was it like having to adjust to a way that you necessarily haven't done before?
Well, I think we learned some things that, maybe we can use in the future. The nice thing is that we're all in the same boat. It doesn't matter what school you're talking about. I think my assistants did a really good job of trying to put stuff together for us to show the families and the recruits that everything that we possibly could, given the restraints that we have right now. Going forward, I think there's some things that we can continue to use doing that to help educate people. Zoom's not a bad way to go. Instead of having a kid come for a visit all the time, you can make it do a Zoom first. And, if the kid's still undecided, well, that's probably not a good sign. But if the kid's excited after you do a Zoom, then you got a shot when they come to visit that you're going to be in the ballpark. So I think that will eliminate some kids visiting because they feel like they're obligated to. For us, it frees up a little bit more time when that happens.
Absolutely. And with us just starting to kind of get back into the swing of things and with sports slowly starting to come back, how has the restrictions been impacting your guys and how they've been able to work out this off season?
Yeah, it depends where they're at. I mean, we have an international roster, so we have guys spread out not only over the country but all over the world, and each place is a little bit different. So we've done a weekly Zoom, which again, something that we never did in the past, but we will continue to do forward in the summers. A weekly Zoom where they work out together, and they're all working out in their bedrooms or garages or wherever, and doing body weight workouts with our strength coach, because that's all we have access, or all they have access to. And it's a good way to check in every week, and then we can make a few announcements and do some things that leadership wise that maybe we haven't done before, and put some onus on them to bring some stuff back to the group. In terms of the basketball side of things, again, it's not a lot different than when they go home for the summer. You're trusting that they're getting their work done. But again, it's a challenge for some guys to find a rim. Other guys, have access to basketball facilities, whether indoor, outdoor, whatever. So it's kind of all over the map. And again, requires a lot of creativity on our guys' part to figure out a way to continue to work on their game.
Mm-hmm. And the university also recently just announced that they will be returning this fall semester for in-person classes, with some changes being made. How are you expecting those changes to impact your players returning to campus and when you take part in practices again?
Well, I mean, I think first off, the biggest adjustment is everybody's gonna have to wear a mask. And for some of us, that's not something we want to do or are accustomed to doing. And I think that will be a little bit of a adjustment period. And for the guys, the days of just walking into the gym and being able to work out or practice are over for the immediate future, because they're going to have to get, temperature tested before they're able to enter the facility. They're going to have their mask on when they come in, and then, they're going to have their own basketball, or we're going to have to come up with ways to clean the basketball. So lots of little things that are going to change things. And again, the days where, I got a free half hour, I'm just going to go over and get some shots up quick. That's going to be a lot more complicated than it used to be. And the same with the weight room. It's going to be a little bit more complicated in there as well, especially with the new facility being built in Hallenbeck, where it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment, figuring out all the timing to get into the hockey center, because it's a little bit smaller. And so again, it's going to be an adjustment with little things, but ultimately I think all of us feel if we can get in the gym and be together, that's all we care about.
And talking a little bit more about that new weight room that's being built in Hollenbeck Hall, how big of an addition is that to the program and for new recruits that are coming in as well?
Well, it's big time for us because, again, us older guys probably like the old weight room because it's dirty, it's hot. That's what we were accustomed to. That's what we grew up with. But the kids today are growing up in these gold LA fitness gyms that are unbelievably, their high schools are better than any snap or anything I've ever seen. So they're accustomed to the more of the amenities and the bright colors and spacing and all that. So I think that will be a smoother transition for those guys and ladies as they look at St. Cloud State, for all the different athletes. I think it will enhance the recruiting side of things from that aspect, but I also think it makes it a better space for Travis and his staff to help our athletes get the max out of their potential. And so it's kind of a win-win both ways and something we've needed for a long time. And I'm very happy the university helped us with this project.
Yeah, it's a huge addition to St. Cloud State for sure. And I know a lot of people are really excited about it. Now, my next question for you might be a little bit of a two-part question, but aside from just the changes you're going to have to make health-wise and sanitary-wise to the upcoming basketball season, what are you expecting to see from your team? And also, how do you expect some of these new recruits that you've picked up to fill the voids of seniors that you lost this previous season?
That's a great question. First off, we don't know where our guys are going to come back at, what kind of shape they're going to be in, how much improvement they've made over the summer. And quite frankly, it's hard to hold them responsible in a lot of ways for that. Hopefully, again, as things loosen up here, they're going to have at least a month and a half to be able to get some good work in and get themselves prepared for when they get back. But, I really like the group we have coming in. The two new kids we just added, one is a 6'10" transfer from Australia that played at a Division II in Colorado, got sick, went home at Christmas, and we got to do a few things to get him so that he's eligible because of the sickness caused him to miss the second half of the season and school-wise. So he's got to get some waivers from the NCAA to play, which I think will happen because he's a good student. And again, with everything that's gone on in this world, it's pretty hard to hold him responsible for that. And the other is a 6'2" point guard out of Australia. So that gives us 6 new guys right now, and we'll add 1 or 2 more walk-ons here. But all the new guys we're really excited about. I think all of them have the ability to help us right away in different ways. Josh Mossy, the 6'10" kid, is definitely a kid that can come in and be a difference maker. He's got all the tools to be an all-conference caliber player. It's just, can we get him adjusted to playing at the level we want him to play at every single night and getting accustomed to playing American basketball every day. But it starts with our returners. It starts with Anthony Roberts and Caleb Donaldson, and those guys need to be better. And they were very good as freshmen, but they need to take the next step forward. Ilya Turchiknik had a very good first year. He's got to be more consistent in second year. Can Ethan Schumer help and be more consistent? We really like Nick Grantham, who redshirted this past year for us. Is he ready to take the next step and be a contributor as well? So we have lots of questions, but I like the puzzles, or the pieces of the puzzle that we have, and think that we have an opportunity to be really special if we can put it all together. And that's up to us as coaches. The guys have done their part, then we'll be just fine.
And it's going to be an exciting season to see how you guys put those pieces together and to watch. And the last question I have for you, if you have one saying or one motto or goal going into this upcoming season, what would it be?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because the guys decide that every year is, what is our theme for the year? It has to be more than just about basketball. It can be about lots of different things. One year it was be uncommon, and what this group has to determine is, what do they want? As coaches, we can try and instill as much as we want, but at the end of the day, those guys will determine how successful we are. So we give them a lot of freedom in saying, hey, what do you want this year to stand for? What do you want the 2021 legacy to be? And that'll be something that we start working on here in the next couple of weeks already as we prepare for August, is what do we want to try to accomplish, not only just on the court, but off the court as human beings as well. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be, Kirsten, because that tells you a lot about where those guys are at mentally and what they believe in. And so, you know, we are very much a player-driven program, and we let those guys have a lot of say. And so I'm really curious to see what they come up with.
Well, we're all excited to find out as well. Coach Reimer, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And for everyone tuning in at home, thanks for watching. And if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to SCSU Huskies YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.
Thanks, Kirsten.